Hello and welcome to the Renden. I'm Ren, this is the Den, and this time last year was when I started posting videos on YouTube. So today I want to talk a little bit about how that year has gone, reflect on some things, what my favourite projects were, and what might be coming next. Hi, I'm Ren, welcome to the Renden, or what will be the Renden. It's looking quite chaotic. This is ridiculous. 5, 6, 7. The lighthouse at the edge of the universe. There's a little icon. There we go. Ta-da! I'm really excited to see how it goes. I have the power to make dungarees now, and I'm very excited. But what we're actually going to talk about today is something that you won't have seen before unless you follow me on Instagram, which you could. Hello and welcome to the Renden. I'm Ren, and today we are going to be, what am I saying? Unfortunately, it is almost 11, so I can't show you any of this in nice lighting right now. Hello and welcome to the Renden. I'm Ren, and today I'm going to finish a project I haven't touched in 7 months. I've just got back from the Stitch Festival in Islington, so we are going to talk a little bit about the event. That one there. I think that's everything. I bought a mural. They're theoretically quite a simple sort of double saddle stitch situation. So this is a place that I called Hebion's Regard. So am I going to try and make dungarees for the first time in 5 days? Maybe. In many ways, a lot's changed in the last year. First of all, just visually. This wasn't here, these bookshelves weren't built, they didn't have lights on, even this pillow wasn't here, this desk wasn't, this room was kind of blank when I started. And I'm really pleased with the way that it's all kind of starting to come together, and still there's some things I would still like to change, but we're definitely onto the kind of minor details, like the sort of aesthetic visual. I'm really pleased with. This wallpaper just continues to delight me. And it's the first time I've ever really kept track of projects in this way. I've never been very good at keeping diaries or anything like that consistently. This is probably the longest period of time where I have sort of maintained a record of the sort of things that I'm doing. And it's been really cool. Every so often I go back and watch the very early videos and be like, oh yeah, a lot has changed. I like to think I'm getting better at talking coherently to camera. I do sometimes watch the edits back and go, you have assumed something in your head that nobody else knows yet. But that's happening less and less. I'm hoping that is coming across. That's how I feel about it. You know, it's a different way of doing things. Every project takes longer than it used to, because I would just move on to the next project and not have to do worry about filming to begin with, and then also editing and processing and publishing and all the rest of it. That's all new to me. I'm obviously far from being a professional in videography and sound, and I've learned a reasonable amount, I think, about that over the past year, working out what camera angles work for me and how to kind of show the thing that I want to show clearly in a way that is kind of engaging. Thinking about sound balance. It took me a while to realize that the background music on my editing software sounds quieter than it ends up being in the final upload to YouTube for some reason. I'm not sure why. So that, I think, has I'm happier with the last sort of 2 or 3 months of videos than previous, because it feels like the balance is better. But yeah, obviously it means that every project takes longer, but also then I can kind of enjoy it more as well. It's particularly nice when I've got my queue built up. I try and work to a kind of 6-week queue, just so that I'm not stressed about like scheduling, and I've got time to like do a longer project and not be worried about getting behind. And when I'm like at the 6-week queue, it can be really nice when a video comes out and I'm like, I did that, I made that, and it was really cool and I really enjoyed it, and I kind of get another like boost of serotonin essentially on how that project went and the result. So that's been really cool. It feels like I've got a better sense of like the things I've achieved on a sort of personal like hobby level in the last year than I normally do, and that's been really nice because it just feels slightly less like, you know, just me messing about in the room, and slightly more like things are happening and changing and being constructed, and I'm learning stuff, and that's very cool. It's been an interesting year as well to kind of document that side of things, when like this is really the first time that I have had a room to myself in this way just for craft. And like I started filming the first video maybe like 3 months after we moved, so it really has been kind of like seeing the progress of that journey and being able to enjoy the kind of the freedom that sort of moving north has given us, in the sense that we've got more space to play with. The space is ours. We don't have to worry about making it nice afterwards and whatever. There's just more fun things to do on the doorstep, and it feels like it's a very creative place. Like there's loads of makers markets and loads of things going on all the time, and like the only like I feel a little bit restricted sometimes because I don't drive, so either it has to be public transportable or it has to be someone else wants to go. But fortunately that is usually one or the other of those is true, so it's worked out quite well for me. I think doing the craft courses particularly was a really useful experience in terms of just like getting out in the area and trying new things. Because actually I was looking back on my videos to prepare for this video, and like there's loads of stuff I've tried this year that I have never done before, and like I've always kind of considered myself like jack of all crafts, master of none sort of thing. And so, you know, it doesn't feel like there's a lot out there other than like very esoteric sort of specific stuff that I haven't at least given a go. But I made my first clothes from scratch this year. Really started like actually being able to repair clothes this year, like actually repairing jeans in a way that makes them wearable for a long period of time. Like I'm still wearing the jeans that I fixed in one of my really early videos. Like they're still part of my wardrobe, and that's like a really empowering thing to know that I can take something that normally I would have considered to be broken, and you know, and I don't have to throw it away. Actually, it can still be practical and functional and useful because of skills that I have picked up along the way. You know, obviously upholstery from the craft courses video I've given a go. Wallpapering is a new thing in the last year. I don't think I've ever wallpapered anything before we got here. And also like just kind of videography and constructing stories and trying to kind of be mindful of the narrative as I'm filming, particularly for the solo RPG videos that I really love doing because there's something a little bit different. It's sort of creative in a different way, and I really love kind of like working out what I want the aesthetic of those to be and doing a little bit of sort of scene setting for those in a way that I don't really need to for like my kind of like more traditional craft projects. But I do kind of think of those as craft projects, and like I feel like it's learning a new set of skills. I want to be more adventurous with the solo RPG videos as I get more confident with the skills that kind of help me to sort of realize what's in my mind. Obviously there have been challenges, and you know, I tend to resist being negative in my videos, so I did want to talk a little bit about the challenges, just because like I'm not very good necessarily at admitting when I'm not finding things so fun. I think there's been a couple times I've sort of lost my sense of humor a little bit in videos. When I was doing the wallpapering, definitely there was a bit where I got really stroppy, and I think there might have been a bit with the painting early on, so maybe just kind of DIY, I just kind of lose my sense of humor a little bit. But you know, we always recover. You know, it is making a video of every creative project I do, or like every major creative project that I do. You know, it kind of just means like some things take twice as long as they would, because I have to, you know, it takes me upward of 2 days to kind of edit a video and put it together and prep it for like uploading and work out the subtitles and all the rest of it, because I don't, like, I have a full-time job. This is just my hobby. So I kind of have to sort of snatch hours here and there. So it always takes me at least a couple of days, usually more, to put together the video out of the things that I've filmed. And I've sort of been trying to think of ways to speed that up as I'm becoming more like mindful of what I want the final video to look like. Like, I can now visualize the final video much more clearly than I used to be able to, just from like the experience that I've gained over the last year. So working out like, oh, I'm going to want this filmed in close up, or I'm going to want a different angle here, or like a couple of different angles in this section so I can cut between them. You know, I'm going to want to film this section but not this section because it's not really gonna be engaging. So in that sense, I think what I'm capturing on the videos, like the sort of raw footage, is more directed, but also like I am trying kind of bigger projects, especially recently, like the dressmaking, the dungarees video was a huge thing, and it just means that there's more footage to look through. And like, I do tend to watch everything that I've filmed. I'll like scrub through, if it's just like kind of ambient footage of me sewing or whatever, I'll sort of scrub through to look for the bits that I want to make, the sort of demonstrate the bits that I want to demonstrate. But anything that I'm talking in, I watch the whole thing. And I have to do like 2 runs through, because the first one is just working out what I want to be in it, and then the second one is sort of working out if there's any like framing that has to happen, or any like sound editing, or you know, putting the background music on. That happens in the second run through. So, you know, there's not really a lot that can be got around there in terms of the time that it's going to take, which is fine. Like, I enjoy the editing process. It just means everything takes that a little bit longer to complete. Like, I have to budget a little bit more time to put things together. I mean, definitely one of the challenges that I am experiencing is the sort of restrictions of the human day, like time, the necessity for sleep, and, you know, socializing, and you know, other responsibilities alongside doing stuff that's fun, that I enjoy, has definitely been a challenge in the last year. Like, so far I'm managing to kind of keep what I'm doing at a sustainable level, but every so often it does just tip a little bit, and I have to kind of pull back and just do things slower or less, because it's just not working. And that can be a little bit frustrating, because it's like, I don't want to be sensible about it, you know, I just want to do the stuff that I want to do. But like, it's important to me that the channel and the creative projects that I'm doing stay like fun and stay a way to combat stress in my life rather than a source of stress in my life, because I don't want to just add another thing that I'm worried about. Like, I want this to be fun. And like, so far I think we're there, but it is something I have to kind of keep an eye on. Like, when I'm stressed, if the queue is knocking down, it's like, am I stressed because I don't want to have a gap in the posting schedule? Because honestly, the audience isn't big enough for me to worry about that. Or am I stressed because it's symptomatic of like, it's been a while since I've had time to do something creative? And just kind of keeping an eye on how I'm feeling about it. And like, looking at the numbers is a big thing of that. Like, I try not to look at the numbers. I mean, the sort of the weekend where a video comes out, I'm a little bit more attentive just to see if there's anything going on. But honestly, like, it's interesting. There's not a big shoot in the numbers when a video comes out. It often will gather momentum like a week or 2 weeks after it comes out. Like, there'll be a little bit, and I say gather momentum, like, most of my videos are under 100 views. Weirdly, the Aldi sewing machine video from last year is surprisingly popular, so that's been really interesting. Like, it's never the things that I think will do well that do well, so I'm sort of trying not to worry about it either way, because there are projects that I enjoy and there are projects that other people enjoy, and it's also kind of a quality over quantity sort of thing. Like, okay, maybe there's a video that not many people watch, but maybe the people who watch it really like it, so, you know, that's great. I'm not looking for volume for the sake of volume. I'm not like very much not looking for this to be my career. Being self-employed sounds very stressful. You know, you watch people on YouTube who are worried about like ad revenue and kind of compromising on like sincerity versus sponsorships and that sort of conundrum. And I don't want to have to worry about all of that, quite frankly. I'm perfectly happy pootling about in my little corner and just sort of, you know, playing, really. And definitely the times that I've tried to kind of have half an eye on, is the project that I'm making or the video that I'm doing something that people are going to watch because there's something happening, or it's, you know, a popular YouTuber has done a similar thing recently, or something might be trending or whatever. Like, it doesn't really make a demonstrable difference to those numbers. So I think going forward into the next year, I sort of I'm going to worry about that less, because there just doesn't seem to be any point in trying to predict what people are going to like. And it's not the metric that matters to me. The metric that matters to me is, was it a fun thing to do? Did I enjoy it? Did I learn something? Is it something that I now use in my life? Like the footstool. That was a really interesting one, because I wouldn't have done that upholstery course. Genuinely, I wouldn't have done it if the Stitchery, Charlie Neebe from the Stitchery, hadn't done a video about craft courses. I probably would have had that open on my like browser tabs for ages and never actually gone. That video kind of really made me go, I should actually do something here. And even though doing the upholstery it's not something that I think I'm going to do again anytime soon, it's not made me feel like I could reupholster the chair and not freak out because I now understand a little bit more of the complexity involved. But the footstool I use every day. So, you know, from that perspective, it was really, really worthwhile doing. So yeah, I think it's interesting sort of seeing what works for the audience and what works for me, and not trying to chase anything or pin like self-worth to how a video does, because if a video gets one comment, that makes my day, you know, because it's really nice to know that someone else has been like, I know how many videos I watch and don't comment. So it's really cool that someone has watched it and been kind of engaged to the point where they have something to say in response. Like, that's very cool. And it doesn't matter to me that that doesn't happen very often, because when it does happen, it's really nice. And when it doesn't happen, I've still done a cool thing. But yeah, thankfully, I've found that I don't feel like I'm behaving differently or interested in different things because I'm filming it. Like, it feels very genuine to me. You know, I talk out loud more than I would if I didn't have a camera on, obviously. But all that stuff would still be happening in my head anyway. So I'm not fussed about it. I don't think that's a problem. Overall, I've found a year of doing project videos really rewarding. And reaching a year has felt like a big achievement because, like, as I said, I haven't historically been very good at keeping kind of records of what I'm doing in a sort of organized way. So, you know, honestly, even if this doesn't have to go forever to be a success, it's a success. I feel like hitting a year ticks a nice little box in my head that's like, if I stop doing it now, it won't because I can't stick at it. It won't because I don't enjoy it. It'll just be time constraints will probably be the issue. Like, it'll be interesting to see how the end of this year goes, like here till the new year, because it's such a busy time for me, like at work and personally, and like obviously, you know, Christmas and blah. Like, there's always stuff going on. And last year, I was fairly securely like 6 to 8 weeks ahead of myself in terms of video publishing schedule for the end of the year, which meant that I had time for the queue to tick down. Like, I think I didn't make a video for most of like half of January because I could take the time to sort of enjoy the season and not like think about the posting schedule or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how the end of this year goes. I think there is a version of time where I might take a break deliberately from like end of October to end of December or something, just to take that kind of pressure off and give myself a sort of holiday from my hobbies. I don't know. And even if I'm making stuff, just not post those videos and let the queue build up a little bit. Because I think it's more fun to do things, experimental things, when the queue is fairly good, because then if it doesn't work, there's no pressure. So I think for a lot of reasons, the queue is quite helpful for me in terms of focusing on what's important, which is me having a fun time and doing fun crafts and projects, and not churning out content, you know. In terms of the year ahead, I'm not a wizard. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm hoping for a quiet year. It feels like in a lot of ways our lives are a bit more together than they were last year. So I'm hoping that that sticks for a minute, so we can just kind of enjoy, you know, living and having a nice time. In terms of projects on the channel, obviously there will be more like craft and like fibercraft and stuff. I've got an idea for what I want to do to the Zelda jacket next. That might have to wait until the new year because it's going to be a bit more involved. And I want to make some Christmas presents before it's too late. But also I don't know how I'm going to do those, if I'm going to do those as videos, because I don't want to spoil Christmas presents. I don't know if anyone who I know in real life watches this channel. There's one person who I know watches this channel who I know in real life, and I don't know if anyone else does, which is fine. I'm not mad about it. But I don't know how careful I have to be about like secrets and like presents, and like, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of D&D in my head in this coming year. I want to find a way of making kind of world building and D&D part of the like my project videos, because that is something that I'm spending creative time on, and I do want that to be part of the sort of record, if you like. But at the same time, a lot of that's going to be secret because I'm about to start DMing my first homebrew campaign. So there's going to be a lot in there that no one else can see, and I don't want to. I need to find a way, if there's like a way to kind of explore those ideas without being like, hey, straight up, don't watch this video, because the temptation on that, it's not that I don't trust people, but I wouldn't trust me to not watch that video. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fully would watch it and be like, no, I just won't metagame that bit. I wouldn't trust myself to know that there were secrets out there and not go looking for them, because I love the lore. So yeah, I want to find a way of being able to enjoy D&D as part of the channel without, so that it's not like a separate side hustle, because I think that one side hustle is enough. I need it to be part of the same thing, but yeah, I still kind of need to work out how that would work. But yeah, continuations of longer projects. The Zelda jacket, as I said, the infinite sampler, I want to get back up on the wall over here and do some more stitches on that. I think it would be cool to reach for the stitches to go all the way down to like hit the top of the armchair by the end of next year. That's my kind of own little personal, I was going to say New Year's resolution, but it's October. I guess in my sort of channel New Year's resolution, because January is a stressful time to make promises to yourself, and October feels like a cozier time to do that. But yeah, I would like to do some more infinite sampler, get a little bit of like art or something up on this wall. Not a huge amount, because have I mentioned I love the wallpaper, but some, because like there are some projects that I have done that I would like to be up there and things like that. I would like to do more, like go to more craft shows and I really like the kind of talking about it afterwards and doing the little debriefs of what was fun and like what I got there. Obviously there's a financial element to that, so I can't be doing too many of those, but it was really fun to do Stitch Festival and then do the like debrief for Stitch Festival, and kind of like with the like creative projects, enjoy it a second time as part of making the video. So yeah, emotionally I would like to do more of those things, but we'll see. And I mean, if you've got to this part of the video, congratulations. This has been a lot of me talking, and I appreciate that. As a reward, comment if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, that if there's anything that I've done or touched upon or not even mentioned that you think I would enjoy. Like, the things I do are so kind of disparate and like often very not connected to each other that it would be interesting to know what people kind of have signed up for and would like to see. So, you know, do let me know. I'm still kind of figuring this stuff out. I am really pleased with the way that this channel is a kind of collection of disparate things. I'm not looking to become, you know, and the sort of advice for YouTubers is always find your niche. No, I shan't. I won't be doing that. I will be doing whatever I want all of the time. That's my niche. So I'm not interested in just doing the one thing all of the time, but I love dipping out in and out of stuff. That's what I do all the time. So if there's anything that you think would be fun, let me know. And yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to discuss in this video. If you've got this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, all that jazz. I should come up with like a proper outro. I'm worried that this is becoming the outro, and I'm not sure I stand by all that jazz as like a cool thing to say, but that might just be what it is now. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you on the next project.